Catholic conferences are a great way for catechists to learn about their faith and learn skills for the classroom. National Catholic conferences combine the very best of topics with presenters who are experts in their field. Typically, anyone who is a catechist or religion teacher needs to achieve certification and maintain ongoing catechist certification or professional development. So we have planned a great show for you tonight with guests from each of the three featured National Catholic Catechetical Conferences. So get ready, because tonight we'll be answering the question, what will National Catholic Conferences be like in 2022? Welcome back to Catechist Stream, where we recognize and support catechists in their baptismal role. We address current catechetical issues and support missionary discipleship. It's where we are learning to swim upstream. Now, I'm looking around and I do not see Deacon Matt because he is not with us tonight. Unfortunately, Deacon Matt is not feeling well. So we will remember him in our prayers tonight as we continue with Catechist Stream. But it is good to be with you all, and we are looking forward to a great evening. So we're coming to you from the Catechist Stream studio, also known as the Aquarium. So let us know where you are viewing from in the comments, and let us know if you're new. Put new in the Catechist Stream comments so that we can say hello to you. Now, we are coming to you live, but if you miss a week or want to go back and see a past episode, never fear, because we are posting the recordings of the full show on our website, catechiststream.com. That's right. Right down there, you can see the web address. So be sure to visit catechiststream.com. Now, last week, we explored a few strategies to support digital catechesis, but tonight we have something very, very special planned for you. Have you ever been to a National Catholic Conference? That is my question for you right now. And if you have been to a National Catholic Conference, let us know which one in the comments. And if you have a takeaway, something that you remember, something positive that was said or that you learned, let us know those in the comments as well. And if you have questions tonight, you'll have the opportunity to speak with our guests for each one of the conferences. So if you have questions about their conference, be sure to put a Q in the chat box before your question so we can easily find it. And that will help us out. Now, tonight we're talking about National Catholic Educational or Catechetical Conferences. And the question that came up between Deacon Matt and myself was, why is that important to hear about? Why would it be important to talk about National Catholic Conferences? And we felt it was extremely important because you who are out in the trenches, as I like to say, you're in the classrooms and you're promoting the good news of Jesus Christ. We know how challenging that can be sometimes. You're just trying to share your faith with those with whom you minister. And what better way to learn ideas, to learn knowledge about your faith or learn skills or techniques in the classroom than to attend a national conference? This is where they're bringing together the very best presenters, the very best insights and tips. So we thought that we would share with you tonight the three major Catholic catechetical conferences. All right, so why don't we take a look at which three we will be talking about tonight on Catechist Stream. I want to bring on our first guest, and I'm going to see if this is going to cooperate with us. Yes, it looks like it will. So our first guest tonight, actually, I am already out of order, but how about we change things up a bit and hear about the RE Congress. And so our first presenter or our guest tonight will be Sister Rosalia Meza, Senior Director of the Office of Religious Education for the Archdiocese of Los Angeles. Welcome, Sister Rosalia.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
We are really excited that you are taking time to join us on Catechist Stream tonight and share with our viewers about your Congress, as you call it, the RE Congress. For those who may not be aware, what can you tell us about the RE Congress, just to get our appetites wet?
Well, the Los Angeles Religious Education Congress uh, is quite a large Congress in its kind. Um, I think everyone thinks that it's just for people that are doing catechetical work, And yes, for sure, we have a lot of emphasis on catechetical work, but everyone else is welcome. Teachers, parents, all ministers, everyone is welcome. And it's a 4-day event. We start
Okay.
with Youth Day, which is beautiful. So we have a group of teenagers planning, designing the event for youth, high school students. So that starts on Thursday. This year, the event is on March 17th to the 20th. And
Okay.
then we have the adult days. And it's a beautiful experience, not just receiving content, but as well living out our faith as a community. So that's beautiful.
Well, we have some images that you were kind enough to share. So I'm going to see if I can get those scrolling as we talk more about the RE Congress. So let's see if we can get these going just to give our viewers a picture of what this is like. This is the largest gathering, I believe, in the country. Is that right?
Correct. Correct.
So I know that things may have changed since the pandemic, but approximately how many attendees do you have on average?
Usually we have 30,000 participants. This year, I mean, last year we did it virtually. I mean, this year is going to be a hybrid event. We have the in person event and the virtual event. The in person event is going to be limited in capacity. So
Okay.
it's less than half that we usually have. Uh, so that's the new logistic for this year. We know that, I mean, it's an international event and people from overseas, no everyone can travel at this time, as you know. So
Right.
there are restrictions. So due to that, and as well, we didn't know what was going to happen with pandemic. So we are doing a hybrid event so that
Okay.
everyone can participate.
Okay. Now, last year, was it a hybrid event or what was that like
Just,
last year?
just a virtual event. It was.
So it went completely virtual last year. And
Mhm,
this year
mhm.
you're moving back to in person and virtual. And I
Correct.
guess only God knows what the future will hold for the Congress.
Correct.
So
Correct.
what would the difference between the in person or virtual experience be like?
Well, we are really trying to do our best so that both can have the same experience. So the difference is that at the virtual event, you're going to be finding all the international speakers. When we started planning the event, that is a year, almost a year, we couldn't bring speakers, participants from overseas. That was a restriction from the convention center. And we said, well, what can we do about it? So all the international speakers are going to be sharing at the virtual event. So that's one of
Okay.
the main logistics. But the opening ceremony, the liturgies, concerts, everything else, the sacred space is going to be available in both.
Oh,
So
that's fantastic.
we are really trying our best that both parties have the same experience.
Okay. And I think another advantage, though, of the virtual is that you can attend that from the convenience of your living room, 24 hours a day. Now, how long will if you register for the virtual conference, how long will they have access? Is it strictly live or is it pre recorded where they can go back and review?
It's both. Yeah, it's both. And so whatever is going to be live happening at the arena is going to be transmitted at the virtual event. And the big convenience of the virtual event is that it's going to be available for a couple of months. So
Okay.
from March 17th till May 17th. So you can go back and check the workshops and go over all of them. So we're going to have 35 workshops on the virtual event, 99 workshops in the in-person event in the three languages. I mean, it's English and Spanish and Vietnamese.
That how exciting is that? And I think that's a real benefit. We may see conferences continue to include a virtual component because they can actually reach more people, even though you have, what did you say, 30,000
Mhm.
attendees in person. Um, how many more can you reach by offering some aspect of the Congress virtually? So I think that's very exciting. Now, what about any sessions or speakers that you would like to highlight?
Well, we have wonderful keynote speakers for the in-person and for the virtual event.
Okay.
We we have Father Albert His. We have Bishop in English. So we have Bishop Sites and Sister Norma Pimentel for the Spanish keynote speakers, and then for the virtual event we have Emil's Kuda and Davy Wells. So it's just wonderful, and we have all the famous speakers, no, that all of you are waiting to hear. No? Bishop Barron, for example,
Right.
Gregory Royal. So we have wonderful speakers, wonderful speakers. It was very challenging to choose just few this year.
Now, I heard through the grapevine that there's going to be a very special message from someone's that we all know who he is.
Yeah, so that's one of the highlights of this year. We have all the way from Rome, Pope Francis. So he's going to be giving us his blessing and addressing us some words for all participants. So that's super exciting.
That is super exciting. You guys don't sleep, do you? I
No, we don't. At this time, no.
At this time, no. Well, we're going to take questions in just a moment. So if you have a question for Sister Rosalia, please do put it in the message box, the chat box, and we'll be turning to those questions in just a moment. But I was also noticing that you have some special events and spaces at the in-person um, Congress. So
Mhm,
tell us
mhm.
about those, please.
Well, as always, we have wonderful concerts and we have Sacred Space. It's beautiful and very inspiring, and we are honoring all the essential workers. So it's going to be very inspiring. And of course, the liturgies, we will be honoring all the essential workers. And I don't know if you know that the Filipino community is celebrating the 500 years of evangelization.
No, I did
So
not.
they're gonna be celebrating. They're gonna have a big liturgy at Congress celebrating the 500 years, and so of course we have the exhibit hall, all those exciting things, no, that people are expecting to have during Congress. And I
Very
need to say that
okay.
they need to watch out about the schedule, because we changed the schedule a little bit.
Okay.
So the sessions are shorter, and as you know, I mean, now that we have been dealing through all these means, Zoom, and people get tired of receiving content. So we are trying to make it sweet, to the point, and that people are able to process, assimilate the content, and to have a space to pray, to pray.
Right.
So, and create community as well. So
That's wonderful, and I think that makes a lot of sense, to provide those opportunities, those spaces, as you put it, so that people can process, they can pray. Uh, Typically conferences are so jam-packed, which is wonderful with presenters and sessions. There's not a lot of downtime, and this gives the attendee the opportunity to really take that time and make the experience more meaningful. And like you said, build community, meet other people and talk and share ideas. So I think that's really, really exciting. Now, we did scroll after the pictures some of the website. So if someone wanted to learn more about the RE Congress for this year, how would they do that?
They just need to go to recongress.org and
Okay.
you can register for the in-person event or virtually, and or both. I mean, it's in-person, virtual, or both events.
Well, actually, that's what one of the questions were. So I'm going to show that if you register for in person, do you automatically have access to the virtual recordings afterwards, the replays afterwards? Or is that two separate
No,
registrations?
they are two separate because the content
Okay.
is very different. The logistics
Okay.
are very, I mean, they are different. So they are two different
Okay.
events.
So if someone wanted the virtual access, they need to register for that separately. But I did notice the registration fees are very nominal. So really, when you think about um, uh, possibly driving or getting a flight, paying for a flight and hotel rooms and meals, um, the cost is so low if you can order just go ahead and register virtually. So if cost was
Mhm.
prohibitive to you in the past, I think that you'll find the registration fee for virtual is very, very minor, and it's not a lot to add on if you are there in person and would like to have access to all of the great resources afterwards. So that will give you something to think about. But we did put the web address up there. Let's show that one more time, just in case someone is seeing this and would like to learn more about the RE Congress. That's religious education. How did the Congress get its name? Do you know that?
Well, what I can tell you is that because I mean, it was imagined in 1956. No, the whole
Wow.
intention was to promote religious education teachers, catechists.
Right.
So that's why that initial name, which now we keep it. No, we have been changing LA, Los Angeles Religious Education Congress, and
Right.
but that was the initial reason.
Okay. Well, I think that is really helpful. Any additional information that you would like to share with the viewers here live or that might be watching the replay on recording on video?
Mhm. No, just I mean, if you have the opportunity and eh, please attend. I mean, in person or virtually. The theme for this year is living waters of hope. And
Okay.
more than ever, I think that we need hope for, I mean, of course, our world. We know what's happening right now, but as well for, I mean, we know how many challenges we have been facing, Catholic schools, religious education programs. So we need to quench the thirst of our hearts with the living waters of hope. So hopefully I can see you in person.
Amen. And I know Deacon Matt will be present in person
Mhm.
for the Congress. I unfortunately will not be present this year, but I do have a virtual session that I worked on and submitted for you all. So if you do get virtual access, be sure to look for that. It's technology and catechesis, strategies for a post-pandemic world. So take a look for that if you do get virtual access. And I just want to take the opportunity to thank you again, Sister Rosalia, for being with us tonight and sharing information on this wonderful event. It's the largest in the nation, and I think you gave our viewers a lot of reasons to check it out if they weren't aware, or maybe had already said, I think I'm going to pass this year. So we are helping, hopefully, to support you in the Congress and all of the great work that you do. So thank you so very
Thank
much.
you. No, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And
All right. Take care and God bless you. And
thank you.
we are going to move on to the next event, the National Catholic Conference that we are going to talk about tonight is the, and I'm probably not going to say this correctly, Races Elas. It's sponsored by the um, National Catholic Conference for Hispanic Ministry. And so we're really excited to share with you information about that. So let me see if we can get that information up on the screen. I'm going to pull up another video for you. Let's see, here it is. And we're going to get that started for you. So while I tell you a little bit about this particular conference. Now, the National Catholic Council for Hispanic Ministry is not solely a catechetical organization. They are dealing with all aspects. And what you're seeing on the screen is this year's title, Prophetic Voices. Let me see if I can just sort of pause this as we go along. And they will be talking about 4 main areas this year: discerning and developing pastoral responses and initiatives to the ministerial priorities of the family. So really taking a look at the family, especially within the context of the Latin American families here in the country, social justice, the youth ministry, and pastoral formation as a whole. So they've got 4 main areas for their conference this year. Now, if you're a catechist and you're thinking, I don't know if this gives me those practical tips in the classroom, this is more, more information to help you understand what's happening in, in our country with respect to Hispanic ministry. So I'm going to continue, if I can find the button, playing this for you. This is from their website, which I believe will show you that address again. There's a registration form on the website for you if you're interested. This takes place in Washington, D.C., and it is April 26th through the 30th. So again, another 4-day conference. And this is a major event in our country. And Elizabeth Romaine is the president of NCCHM, and she has done an amazing job of putting together this conference. Now, you're going to see here, you have a schedule if you're interested in taking a closer look at the schedule. For all 3 of these conferences that we're featuring tonight, Sadlier is a sponsor for their organization and also sponsoring their particular conferences. So we encourage you to learn more about the NCCHM conference. If that is an area of interest for you, it's on the East Coast. It takes place in Washington, D.C., and is April 26th through the 30th. So that is a lot of information for you on that conference. Apparently, Elizabeth was not able to log on with us tonight, but we thank you for sharing that information with us tonight. Now we're going to move to our final conference tonight, the NCEA conference. So the NCEA is the National Catholic Education Association. This is all of your Catholic schools around the country. And they have an annual conference that changes locations. This year, the conference is in New Orleans. And they're very excited to be back in New Orleans. And New Orleans has been really experiencing lockdown. We may run this video for you a couple of times because it moves kind of quickly, but this begins the week after Easter. So April 19th, and I believe goes for 3 or 4 days. So the 19th through the 21st, so another 4-day conference. So this is typically for your Catholic school educator, but in speaking with Jill Annabelle, the programs manager over the conference, she was sharing with me that this particular conference has had an emphasis on catechetical educations or catechetical ministry. So not only academic information, but also supporting the catechetical initiatives in the Catholic schools. So if you are a catechist and within reach of driving or flying or moving virtual, this would be another opportunity where it is in person or virtual. So you could attend the NCEA virtually. And let me see if I can just run that for you one more time so that we can sort of catch up. Why attend? Go to the website. You'll get some great information on all of the benefits of attending the NCEA conference. They are expecting, like the RE Congress, a little less in attendance. They have to limit the number of attendees. Theirs will be a couple of thousand this year. So virtually may be more economical and more practical for you. There are featured sessions on the main stage. They said they will be live streaming some of their events. And so you can look for those. And of course, they have liturgical celebrations with the local bishop, as well as some of the other clergy members from the area. There's a president's dinner, superintendent breakfast, and networking, as well as deep dives into some additional topics. One of them that I was interested in is the blended learning deep dive. So much more about integrating technology with education, specifically catechesis. And you can get your registration information online, and you can register to attend either in person or virtually. So I think it's a really wonderful opportunity. These conferences and the LA Congress or our e-Congress offer you the opportunity to really hear from the very best in the Catholic catechetical worlds, as well as hearing new ideas to gather either in person and have that experience where you can pray and learn and grow, process, build community, or attend from the comforts of your own device and at your schedule, at your leisure, 24 hours a day. Those sessions will be available to you, typically for a limited time. I think what we're seeing now is about 2 months. So these conferences are offering the recordings for about 2 months. So you have an opportunity to really go back and process the information that you want to hear. So that's a lot. And want to thank all three organizations for providing information and collaborating with us to bring you this wonderful presentation on our National Catholic Conferences tonight. So we want to know, what would you like to hear more about? Drop it in the chat box so we can consider your ideas for future shows. We always do that. And we've already implemented some of your ideas on some of our episodes. Also, check out catechiststream.com. By the way, if you found value in tonight's show, consider sharing Catechist Stream with others. Now that you found Catechist Stream and found value, share it with others. Be sure to tell someone about Catechist Stream. Also, don't forget to join Sadly Religion on our Facebook and YouTube accounts. Be sure to follow on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. If you haven't gone to the YouTube site, go on to youtube.com and then just search for Sadly Religion. Once you find that, click the bell and then select all. That way you'll get notified. And we have just added all of our videos on a playlist in YouTube. We're going to show that to you next week. So that you can be informed, and be sure to subscribe there. And we will be live streaming on YouTube within a few weeks. So we're very excited about that. So you don't want to miss a thing. Be sure to subscribe on YouTube, click the bell, and let's not forget to thank our host, Sadlier. Sadlier is a family-owned and managed catechetical publisher since 1832. That's 190 years. So Thank you so much, Sadler, for sponsoring Catechist Stream. And before we close, let's close in prayer tonight with the Catechist Stream prayer that Deacon Matt wrote for us. And we're especially remembering Deacon Matt, who is not feeling well today, in our prayer. So let's pray in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Jesus, being a catechist can sometimes feel like swimming upstream. At times, the ministry can be stressful, challenging, and even exhausting. But we know that you're here and that you will lead us upstream as you call us to continue to share the truth of your love and mercy with others. And again, we lift up Deacon Matt to you tonight and all those who are not feeling well in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So we want to, again, thank you for joining Catechist Stream. Thanks what you do to share the good news of Jesus Christ. And be sure to tell someone about Catechist Stream. Just point them to the website, catechiststream.com. Has all the details of how to view the stream. And if you want to share on social media, use the web address and add hashtag Catechist Stream so we can find your post and we can share your post. So next week, we'll kick off the beautiful season of Lent. So we'll be looking at the mathematics of Lent, what we may want to add or subtract in order to multiply God's grace in our life. So let's show our appreciation for our wonderful guests. Thank you so much again, Sister Rosalia, and for Jill Annabelle and Elizabeth Romaine for contributing to Catechist Stream tonight. And don't forget to check out their websites and get registered for their conference. That's the whole point here. You need to continue to grow to continue to swim upstream. So never forget that you're important, you're called by God, and doing wonderful things for God and the church. And until the next time, keep swimming upstream.